Hey. Alright. How you doing? Let's just make sure everything is working as it should be. So my little audio levels are going up, which tells me my mic is working and my picture is moving and I appear to be in focus and it's all good. Cool. How you doing, guys? Hope all is well. Sorry I wasn't about last Saturday. Some of you know I suffer from migraines and I had a good one last week. That was not fun. I had, like, you know how water goes down a plug hole? I had that in my vision. If I stopped and looked at something for a second, it started to distort like that, and it wasn't nice. So apologies for not being about last week. Good evening, mate. All good. Hope all is good with you. So a little bit of housekeeping. First off, finished that. Let's because it's a bit too big to get on the little camera here, so some of you might have seen it on social media, but if I can get rid of the reflection from the light. No, I can't. Let's try killing the light. How's that? Still not brilliant, but anyway, she's all finished. She's in a nice frame. Not a cheap one either. This frame cost me a fortune. And prints are now available on my store for anybody interested. Just go to sviart.com and right there on the front page you'll see a picture of this and a link to the store. Also, the original is up for sale if anybody wants it. So just shoot me a message if anyone's interested. Let's put this down somewhere safe because it is glass and not plastic. I don't want it to fall over and break. 2 seconds. Okay. So that's that. So yeah, that's done. Said about the link to the store. So next up is Dennis's guitar, which I have been working on. Let's get this rigged up. So I use a very technical piece of equipment to prop it up nice and straight. A pot of paint. Just down there like that. So some of you might know, Dennis has sent me a Stratocaster to airbrush a picture onto, an old Kawasaki motorbike with like a nice sunset effect in the background, stuff like that. So good evening, Kenneth. First time watching live, you should have to go back and watch. Love your work. Thanks, Donny. Much appreciated. Glad you can make it live. Right, so we are going to the camcorder. That one. And then we'll adjust the camera angle, give everybody motion sickness. So it's come to me as bare wood. So I've grain filled it and sealed it. Otherwise the paint tends to soak straight into the wood. Wood is a sponge, so I've sealed it, sanded it flat, all that lot, base coated it, hit it with some red. You might be able to see it just around here, so it's not completely black. It like starts black over here and then it goes to like a red and then a blue over here, but it's like really subtle. And I've started to airbrush the sunset on it, like the clouds and stuff like that. This is just a print out of what the bike will be. It's not the right colours, it's literally just there so I know where the bike is going. So ignore the colours on that, it's just a bit of paper that's blue tacked on there. So we're going to carry on airbrushing the sunset, I reckon, tonight. So let's just make sure I've got my easel locked off so that nothing's going to go hitting the floor, because that would be really embarrassing live on stream. That's that. And in usual me fashion, I'm completely disorganised. So I just need to spray through some cleaner in my airbrush. I've had it soaking for a while, so it should be nice and clean by now. Just spray that through into my little pot. Just like that. Cool. Right, let's go back to the live scene so you can see everything that's going on. There we go. Right. So, I'm not sure if I can get a picture of this up, actually. Did I, give me a moment, I'm just checking my hard drive. Did I actually save a JPEG of this? Where are you? One moment, viewers. I'm sure I did well, I know I did a Photoshop mock-up of this, but I'm sure I saved it onto my hard drive here, so I can pop it up on screen so you can see roughly what it's going to look like. What's this? Any experience with the cheap, small ultrasonic cleaners for airbrush? I did have one many years ago. It wasn't specifically made for airbrush. It was just like a little. It was for cleaning jewellery. That's what it was. Just a little ultrasonic cleaner, about the size of your hand. It might have been the one I had, but I didn't find it very good, to be honest. Like I say, I haven't tried these ones that say they're specifically for airbrush, but the one I had was a bit naff. It did its job to a certain extent, but I found it quicker to just strip the airbrush down, get in there with a cotton bud and a pipe cleaner and just do it that way, to be honest. Personally. No, this is not looking very hopeful. Unless it was in my customers designs folders, wherever that is. I've got too many folders on this PC. Dennis Kawasaki Strat. There we go. So, while that's loading Photoshop, I'll put some paint in here. So we're going to need a red to start with, I reckon. Now I'm gonna tackle these clouds kind of like how you airbrush True Fire. For anybody who knows how to airbrush that. So I'll be using inks because they're true transparent. Right, if I save that. For a start, let's change its size because it's huge. Let's go for 25%. 72 dpi because we don't need 300. That's a bit excessive just for popping a picture up on the screen. And then flatten the layers. And then save as onto my desktop. It's exciting, this, isn't it? And we'll make it a JPEG so I can drag it onto the screen. Dennis Kawasaki Strat JPEG, save. Cool. So that's that. And then with any luck, I can now go into Stream Elements here. Add a source and add an image, add source, add a new source. Cool, this is convoluted, isn't it? And then desktop. My God. I will get there in a minute. Honest. Dennis Kawasaki strap. Done. Right. Right. So we need to resize that. So the colours are a bit off. Hopefully you can see that all right. But that's basically what we're doing with it. So I'm just airbrushing in all the clouds up top. Right. So that we can now get rid of like that. Stop waffling and start painting now. Right. So first off, like I said, we're going to need a red. I've got a red here somewhere. Vivid red orange. Or that one. Ooh, I like that one. Ooh, that's a good one. I don't even know how to pronounce that one. Pyro red, is that? I think that's Pyro red. Anyway, that one. And as these are inks, I'm not going to bother with reducer or anything like that. Just straight out the bottle. Like I say, I'm going to go with the same sort of method that you use for True Fire. So I've done some white there. I'm going to go over it with red. Then I'll go back with some white. And I'll go over it with yellow. And then I'll go over it with some more white. And go over that with a bright yellow sort of thing. So. Hopefully that's coming up on camera. You can just see it. Yeah, you can see it just shifting over to red rather than white. And it does turn the black to kind of a brown, but we're not going heavy enough to make it too bad. Once you clear coat it, it'll look more red than brown. So. Sounds like I'm laying loads of paint down, but I'm not. I'm keeping it really light coats. That looks really red on camera. It's not quite that red, but hey ho, you get the gist. So that's that. Just put a bit of water through the airbrush to wash that out. Now, I don't know. I don't think these bleed. I don't believe the liquid hex inks bleed, but just to be on the safe side, just to cover my butt, I'm going to put some transparent base over that. Which I have here somewhere. Transparent base, there we go. just to be on the safe side, and I'm using Trident. Normally with solvent candies, you can't use a water-based transparent base because the candy will still bleed through, as some of you probably know. But as this is a water-based acrylic ink, this transparent base should do the trick, he says. Again, I'm going nice and light. Don't want to drown the surface. And with guitars that have a scratch plate like this one does, make sure that you spray from the top and not just down here, because otherwise, like line of sight, you end up with a rim just up the top here that has no paint. So it's quite easy to keep spraying from down this angle and the spray's going up there, but as it's hitting this lip, you end up with a bit just down there that ends up with no paint or transparent base in this case. So you have to remember to bring the airbrush up over here and spray down onto that lip. Airbrush is like a line of sight. Cool, that'll do that. So wash that transparent base out of there. What you guys been up to the last fortnight anyway? Anything exciting? Got any cool projects on the go? Just use the air from the airbrush, make sure that's completely dry. Now back to the white. For that, I'm using trusty old Trident with their reducer. What do I need? I need this fairly watered down, so let's say 5 drops of the Trident white. Not massively though. Let's go for 5. We've got 5 drops of the white. I've got 3 drops of the reducer. And a little bit of water just to bring the paint. You can't really see it on camera, but it's just halfway up my paint cup. Rub Smoke and Sauce. Evening, mate. Cool username. I was so close to start my selfie painting. If you didn't get on with it, saved by the bell. I had a ride out to the Derwent Dams where the dam busters practiced. How cool is that? Nice. You'll know who this is if I say TVI and Jack. Ah, good evening, mate. How are you? For those of you who were talking about the where was it? It was about 2 or 3 streams ago. Somebody mentioned the guitar I did with the TVRs. Rub Smoke and Sauce in chat there. He's the owner. Right, so we've got some watered down white, not a massive amount. So I'm just going to go back over this and bring back some highlights, and then we'll go over it with, I don't know if I need an orange. I might be able to just go over it straight with some yellow. We'll see how it goes. And in true Blue Peter fashion, I have my stencils that I cut out earlier. Here's a little tip. Doing clouds, right? And I printed out the design on a bit of paper and I cut all the bits out and stuff, right? But for clouds, if you cut out the edge, say like if you were cutting out this bit here, I've got that bit of paper here somewhere. I've dropped my paint. There you go. So say you wanted to cut out that mask there for that bit there. Don't use your scalpel. It makes too much of a clean edge. If you can rip it, you obviously have to be really, really careful. I don't know if the camera can pick that up, but that is actually ripped. And it creates a much softer cloud-like edge. So, like I say, it's a bit fiddly. But if you can rip it instead of cutting it, it does so much better. And that is that bit. I'll get the right bit in a minute. There it is. Pick that paint up before the dogs eat it. So that won't be a good thing. So yeah, if you can rip the edge, it just gives you a much softer cloud-like edge. It's really, really handy. Even if you hold it up tight to the surface, you still get that soft edge on it. There you go. See, well, you can't really see on camera, but it's a lovely like ghosted edge. It's not absolutely solid. Come on, camera, focus, focus. There you go. You see, it's just got a little bit of ghosting on it. So that's that bit. Next bit we want is that long bit I had. That one there. Doesn't have to be exact. Just roughly in the right sort of place. And you don't need to stick it down. Just hold it with your hand because you want to have a softer edge as possible, really. So I've just dusted some white over that, but now I'll go in freehand. Get rid of my tip dry, because that's always a good thing. Then you got to think about where the highlights would be coming from. So like this little bit of cloud that's sticking up here would have quite a bright light on it because of the light coming and hitting it, whereas that little bit there wouldn't. Always think of your light source, not your brown source, your light source. And then get that bit of paper back again, get it in roughly the right place. Sometimes you're lucky and you can let go and it stays there, which is really handy because I need to do those light bars. Although it'll probably fall off as soon as I touch it with this. So that goes down there. Right, we've got some clouds down there, haven't we? I still need you to do that Secret of My Success guitar. Oh god, yeah. Yeah, I remember that. That'd be quite a cool one, wouldn't it? Little portrait of Michael J. Fox. Okay, so that's that white done. Wash that out. And then we get some yellow. Which is just there. So we've got yellow light hue. Again, straight out the bottle, no reducing, no faffing about, just straight out the bottle for the yellow. The only downside with using water-based stuff rather than solvent candies is it can kill the red a bit if you're not careful. It has a bit on up here, so I'll go back in with the red and just bring some of it back. Evening, John. All good, mate? Hope all is good with you. Yeah, that looks really, really bright on camera. Like, really bright. Let's see if I can fix that. So, configure video. Let's bring my saturation down a bit, see what that does for it. My hand look like? Yeah, that's more like it. So we'll apply that and okay, there we go. Saturation was a bit too high, I think. Right, so that's our yellow. So again, we will wash what's left out. Put a little on the yellow before I knock it over because you know what I'm like. Rumour says it hangs a bit to the left, but you don't have it from me. Rumour has it. Now, do I go in with some orange or do I go in with red? Let's go in with the red. I think the orange will make it look a bit odd. Let's stick with the red. The orange might shift it all a bit too orangey, funny enough. So we'll stick with the red. So now I'm just going to go in up here a bit, just tone down those yellows a little. And again, it's straight out of the bottle, no reducing. Where's my bit of cardboard? There it is. Yeah, that's cool. Actually, let's tone down that bit as well. Just so it fades off nicely off the corner there. Now we need another little bit of white, just for the brightest spot up here, just a tiny little bit, just up there sort of thing. So we'll hit it with some transparent base again. Just like that. Obviously you don't have to coat the whole thing in transparent base, only where you've painted. Right, lid goes on the transparent base, and then we get the white. I'm only going to need a tiny little bit of this, so I'll put in 1 drop of white, like that. One drop of the reducer, like that, and a teeny tiny squirt of water, just like that. Give it a good shake off camera so it looks really dodgy again. Right, where's that bit of paper that I had? Is it there? No, it's not there. Where did I put it? There it is. It's the chair making that noise, by the way, not me. Honest. I really need a new chair. Poor old thing's knackered. Bit like its owner. So I'm just spraying a little bit and then using the air from the airbrush just to make sure that it's completely dry. Marvellous. Cool. Okay. I've got quite a bit of paint in my paint cup still. See, after a while you get, if I can get the light on it, you get all this paint residue dried onto the inside of your paint cup. So every now and then it's a good idea just to get a bit of tissue and just clean that out. Because of course if that dries up and then flakes off the inside of the paint cup, it's going to go into your airbrush and cause you a blockage. And nobody likes a blockage in their cup. Perhaps Becky can recommend a new hip for you, no more noise. Yeah, I'm a tattooist, mate. It's not my hip that's the problem, it's my spine. The joys of being a tattooist. And leaning over at funny angles all day, every day. It's not the rock and roll lifestyle they make it look like on the TV, that's for sure. I want a refund. Just going to use a little bit of isopropyl alcohol on my tissue just to clean that out. Just to make sure I don't get any flakes going into my airbrush. That's better. Lovely. Right. Cool. Get that tip dryer for there. And we're good to go. Just like that. Right then. So where is my picture? So yeah, we've got all that. So I guess it's time to start masking off the bike. So that's going to be exciting for you, watching me mask something off. That little critter in the bath looks good to me, like a kid from Tales from the Riverbank. Cheers. Yeah, she bless her heart. Bex loves her taxidermy. Keeps her fingers nimble with the old MS. Right, I need some masking stuff, which is right there. Is there enough on that bit? No, there is not. That's useful. I'll have to get the big one then. Astral Solari, good evening, mate. Hope all is okay your end. Motorbike, right. Let me drop this whole roll on the floor now. Scalpel. Or should I mask off the whole guitar to be on the safe side so that we don't get any dodgy overspray stuff, like any lines? Seeing as I've got a ton of this masking stuff. I'm the master of knocking my paints over tonight. So that'll go there, that'll go there, so we need to chop off there. Oh, okay. Got your phone, yeah? Yeah. Okay.
You turned your proton pack then?
Yeah. It's always on when I'm streaming. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Keeps the batteries alive, otherwise I only turn it on at Halloween, don't I? Okay, so let's take off this paper printout. I've already ghosted around the edge of this with a little bit of white, just so I could see exactly where it's got to sit. The stickiest blue tack in the world. Wow. Get that blue tack off. Okay. So this masking stuff, for those who don't know, is called Ultra Mask. I've tried Frisket and other masking stuff, but personally this Ultra Mask stuff works a treat. So I'm just going to lay that over the whole front of the guitar, just like that. And you're not going to be able to get it completely flat because of the scratch plate that's on here. So just roughly, if you make sure, oh look, rubbing that down has made me hit my step goal. Go me. What was I saying? Yeah, obviously make sure that it's flat on the scratch guard, pick plate, scratch plate, whatever you want to call it. But when it comes to the edges here where it goes over onto the guitar, you're not going to be able to get it to stick down very well. So unless you took off the scratch plate and painted that separately, which would be very difficult to get the colours to match on the edges, and would just be a nightmare. Using my fingernail just to push that down a little bit more, just around the edges, just to make sure it stays put. Okay. Although I am wondering if I should mask off the guitar and the scratch plate separately. Nah, it'd take too long. That's there. Where'd my bike go? There it is. So we get the blue tack off the back of this. This is where the stream gets really, really, really boring. Because I'm just going to mask this off. It's the only downside with airbrushing, all the masking. Drives you nuts. Hey Marshall, you alright mate? What's up buddy? You okay? Right, that's the blue tack off of there. Now we basically need to transfer this image onto this masking. What's up mate? What's wrong? Okay. What's up? No, say hi to everybody on the internet. You need a wee? But I'm busy, look. I'm streaming. Can't you hold it? No. Dog pee break. I will be 2 seconds. Sorry guys. Won't be a sec. There we go, right. Happy Husky. I says, dude, we're looking at paint drying called masking board. It's a very good point. That's a very, very good point. Right, where were we? We were going to put that. We've got to transfer this image onto the masking, so then I can cut out each section and spray. What is the easiest way of doing that? I wonder. Let's use the old tried and trusted method of a white coloured pencil, shall we? And in my unprepared fashion, my white coloured pencil is in that pot there, underneath everything that I've been stacking up here. Welcome to Svee's Tidying Up Stream. Right, those masks I'm going to need, so we'll put them there safe. Don't need my Dremel thing. Everyday essentials. I can go over there. Don't need my sandpaper, that can go back up there. And then it can fall down on my head later, because it's good at that. Right, coloured pencil. Hit the camera. That's when I find out the kids have been in here and I haven't got my white. Oh no, there it is. Yay. So all I'm going to do here is white coloured pencil. It's one of those watercolour ones. I don't know if that makes any difference. 1956 Willys 4x4. Good evening. Steve. Evening, mate. Hope you're doing all right. This is like the old days. Yeah. I'm just going to scribble this white pencil over the back of this, put it down there, get a biro, draw over it, and it'll transfer the white pencil from the back of that onto the masking. Bob's your aunt, Fanny's your uncle, all that lot. So just scribble some white onto the back of there. I won't do the whole thing. I think I'll just do like the front forks and the headlights for now. That'll be enough for the stream. Don't want to have you guys sitting there for too long with no action on screen. Need some hold music or something while I do this. No, I'm not going to sing to you though. I want to gain viewers, not lose them. Okay, that should be enough. So all I've done is just scribbled the white pencil onto that bit, and then I get a regular pencil like that. That will do the trick. Get it in the right spot, so line it up with the edge that I've sprayed on earlier, which is about there, like that. And go on, Trout. Untitled Scribble Ployer. Yep, that's the one, mate. So, if I've done this right, and if I've put enough white pencil on that, I can now go over this side. Here. And transfer that over. Don't need all the details, just the edges of the various bits. So like all the detail in the light there, I just done the edge. I don't need all the details in the middle. That I can do when I'm painting. I just need to know where the edges of the light is. It's going to be a fun bit. That's a thin, flimsy bit of paper there. Yeah, it's not coming out on camera very well, but it's working. I really need to look into doing some music in the background. Trouble is, Twitch seem to be a bit more lenient with their copyright, but YouTube are all over it. And I have this problem with my old YouTube videos in that I used to spend an absolute fortune on royalty-free music. Like each video would cost me, $10 to $15 in royalty-free music, and in the last 5 years, I reckon, I've been having copyright strikes on this royalty-free music because it turns out the license was only for a certain amount of time, and of course it's one of those things that was hidden in the small print, which of course you never read. So I bought all that music thinking that it would be okay for life on my videos, and And now I'm getting all these copyright strikes because my license has run out, basically, which sucks. So I'm always really wary of any kind of music because it's just gonna cause you problems down the line. But at the same time, when you're doing stuff like this, you don't want a huge big chunk of silence. You've got to have something to keep the viewers entertained, you know. Cool, right. I reckon that will do that. We won't trace the whole thing because that will take me an hour, and by then the stream will be over. So we'll just concentrate on the front forks. Let's put my white pencil back in there before I lose it, because I've only got the one, and I can guarantee I'll be looking for it later. That's that. We're going to need some white paint again. Which is just there. And as we're going to be doing some fairly little details, I'm going to reduce it a fair old bit, I reckon. Although you do have to watch out with the Trident reducer, I've noticed, because if you use too much of it, it can reactivate the paint that you're spraying on. So you do have to be a bit careful with it. For that much, you could get a live band to play. Yeah. Yeah, you have got to wonder. Copyright is a funny old thing. Record some riffs and let the husky sing. Yeah. Yeah. He's quite quiet, Marshall. But he can howl at times. In husky terms, he's quite a quiet boy. He doesn't sit there howling like you see on all these videos on the internet. He'll only do it in the mornings when he really needs a wee. Much to our next door neighbour's delight, I'm sure. Give that a shake. So I've done 5 drops of Trident White, 2 drops of the reducer, and just topped it up with a bit of water, and my paint cup is about half full. So I'm not going to need a massive amount. So I'll let that sit there and let the reducer do its thing while I cut some of this out. So scalpel. Should have a nice sharp blade in it because I only changed it last week. And let's start with the handlebars, I reckon, and work our way down. Start at the top, work our way down, I reckon. The only downside with this method is you have to be careful not to rub your finger over that because it will take the white off. Come on, off you come. Maybe I do need a new scalpel blade. There we go. Stick that somewhere safe. So I'm basically just going to cut each individual bit out. A little mirror there. I'm going to cut out that one as well, spray it, and then put the mask that I cut out back over it to mask it back off. And just do that for the whole bike, bit by bit. It's going to take a little while, but when you've got details that are this small, you don't want to go in freehand, because unless your airbrush control is really, really good and your paint is flowing really well, it's just asking for trouble. Is when I do it anyway. Right, so that's our mirrors cut out. Wet me whistle. You're very welcome, Dennis. I appreciate you commissioning it, buddy. You have fed my children, I like you. Right, so what we got in the way of highlights on here? Where's my picture again? So we've got a highlight around that edge and a flat bit over there. Okay. Somewhere around here I've got a little mask, freehand mask. Where is it hiding? I've got too many stencils. Oh my word. In this pile of stencils here somewhere. True fire, true fire, true fire. I've got a lot of fire stencils. There it is. Get off of there. Put him back. I've been trying out some. Is something a bit off topic for you. If I switch cameras to that one, I've been trying out some new clear coat. My mummy guitar that used to be hanging up there, the clear coat was quite thin on it, so I thought I would whack some new stuff on it, and somebody put me on to this stuff, Solar Res, and it's basically clear UV resin, so no 2K or anything like that, it's just UV resin. You paint it on with a paintbrush, and then you go stand outside and the sun cures it, and it's done an alright job. And it's 100% solid, unlike 2K clear coat, that a lot of it evaporates. With this, it's 100% solids, nothing evaporates, and it cures in 5 minutes. It goes absolutely bulletproof. So I've been playing with that. It's quite interesting. And it buffs up beautifully as well. It's nice stuff. Right, so now I have my stencil. This stencil is invaluable. Best stencil on the planet. If you haven't got this one, go get it, because you will use it loads. I do. Right, let's change my camera angle a bit so you can see more of what I'm doing. Up like that. Zoom in a bit. Just like so. So there you go. You can see the bits I've cut out for the mirrors. The back here is dark, and there's just a highlight that goes around the top edge here. So what I'm going to do is find a little circular bit on the edge of this that kind of follows the same curve as that, which it looks like that is the one. Does that work? Does that work? Yeah, that works really well. And then instant mirror. I have a mini version of it in the nail art section. Really? Wow. I bet that's really handy, the little one. Although I would always lose that one. This one and the... was it one of the Texture FX stencils? It almost looks like a cloud. I have got one of them somewhere, but it's a little one and I've lost it. That was a really useful stencil too. Right, and then this mirror looks a little different. So it's got an intense highlight down the stem, an intense one on top, but it's also got the mirror bit is visible on this one. So get one of these little circular ones in the middle there. It's about like that. Just like so. So like that, and then the stem, make sure that's stuck down. There we go, there's our mirrors. Right, so I don't need to stick those masks back just yet. I'm just going to do the handlebars, which is like that. So there's no point sticking those mirror bits back down just yet. But disconnect the air, put that down. Scalpel. I'll tell you what, I am going to change my scalpel blade because that was a bit dull. Which will cause me all sorts of problems on the really tiny little details. So, rather than struggle and stuff it up, let's just put a new blade in it. Just like that. Only downside with a brand new blade is that these guitar pick guards, scratch plates, whatever you want to call them, are plastic. So if you push too hard with this really nice sharp blade, you're going to mark the plastic, and then you'll have a lip showing up in your clear coat, and it will just be an absolute nightmare. So a little bit of care now can save you a whole lot of trouble later on. And just be careful that you don't push too hard. Like a hot knife through butter. Nice. So that is pretty much solid white. There is a ball bit on the end. Like that. Make sure it's dry. And the handlebar bit. Let's stick that bit of masking back down, just to protect what we just did. Coax it into place where it was, and then back of the nail to stick it down. So these bits there. And it just goes straight along to that box bit there, okay. And straight along to there. Where there is a little bit It sticks up. And then that comes down there and joins up with the brake. Cool. I bet that's nice on camera. Sorry. High-pitched squeal going through the camera. Start whistling. Right, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That looks it. So my finger's in the way. No, you can see that good. And you got a little box bit. You have made videos where you've made funny faces to the sounds, yeah. Those were the days. I actually don't have any editing software at the moment, so I can live stream, but I can't make any actual YouTube videos at the moment. I used to use Adobe After Effects and Premiere Pro, but can't afford it anymore thanks to energy bills and the cost of living, so I cancelled my Adobe membership. I kept Photoshop because I need that every day for the tattooing, but the video editing sadly I had to cancel. It's 20 quid a month for Photoshop, I think, and it was 50 quid a month for all their video editing as well. I couldn't stretch to that anymore. So live streaming no problem, but actual video editing can't do at the moment. There's our handlebar. Take a look at Blender. It should be able to edit video and sound and free. Well, I'll have a look at that. Thanks, Kenneth. DaVinci Resolve. I'll have a look at those. Thanks, guys. Yeah, Adobe are great, but they're expensive. Right, so that's that handlebar. So we got to actually, I don't think we need to stick those masks back down. We're not going back over those bits. So next up is a little stalk just here. So we've got a bit that comes off of that box bit there. Like so. And then that goes all the way down there to there. £30 to fill bike up and £50 food shop. Now is £100. Yeah, it sucks, doesn't it? Yeah, just to get to work and back is costing me. It used to be £50 a week. Now it's pushing 70. And that's just to get to work and back. But hey ho, things can always be worse. They can be a lot better, but they can always be worse. Plenty of people out there in a worse situation, so I always try and look on the bright side. Doesn't always work, but I always try. Hopefully this is coming out on camera alright. Yeah, you can see that, that's good. Teeny tiny details. Right, let's do those. Let's do the dials next. Which are right here. So first off, they've got what looks like a chrome ring around them, which goes here. It's like the old ASMR videos again, isn't it? Cutting out stencils with Svi. So that's those two bits, which are pretty bright. Yeah. Just like that. And then the rest of the dial, which comes off of there like that. Now should I stick those back there? Yeah, let's stick those back down just to be on the safe side. So let's get those two little bits of mask and just pop them back in first. Yes. Always look on the bright side of life. He passed away now, hasn't he? I think the guy saying that. There's not a lot of the Monty Python crew left, I don't think. I'm going to have that stuck in my head now. Always look on the bright side of life. Keep putting my knife down and forgetting where I put it. It's been a while since I've done a airbrush job like this where you cut out little tiny bits and then stick them back down. I think the last time I used this method was the Appetite for Destruction Telecaster, I think. And that was quite a few years ago. Michael Palin and John Cleves. Yeah, I think that's about the Eric Idle also with us. Ah, yeah. Ah. Yeah, Eric Idle, he was the one who sang it, wasn't he, I think? It's like the Carry On bunch. I think they're all gone now, all the Carry On people. Chinar guitar turned out nice, mate. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, it's one of my all-time faves, that one. Oh, I couldn't believe it when I got permission to do that. I was expecting to get a big fat no from the what was his name, Robert Williams, who painted it originally. I was expecting to get a big fat no from him, but no, he said yeah, the only clause he had was that I sent him pictures when it was done. I was like, I can do that. And then I got a nice message from him when it was finished saying that I'd done a really nice job, which is always a huge compliment coming from the original artist. I had to promise I would only ever do the one, though. Right, let's do a headlight. So we'll stick those bits of mask back down, because we don't want any overspray going over those bits and distorting the details. Yes. Nope. Just a second, viewers. That's my daughter. Just make sure everything's alright. Aww. She's seen a baby rabbit. Isn't that cute? Right, so we've got a black bit around the back there, and then this bit here is really bright, so we'll start with that bit. Still on camera? Yeah, just about. Good. Didn't want to do that. Blew air under my mask and peeled it off. It's not stuck down very well there, is it? That's better. Jim Dell is 86. Carry on screaming. Yeah, I always remember Carry On Camping. Can't think why. Jim Dell was brilliant in that Carry On films. All matron. I feel that bit needs to be a bit brighter. Yeah, it does. Needs a bit of a brighter bottom. That's better. You can't beat a brighter bottom. Right, so stick that bit back down. How we're doing for time. Oh my god, it's 5 to 9. Look. Good grief. I'm getting all engrossed in my masking and time's flown by again. Mind you, it's much better doing the 2-hour streams. When I was doing the 1-hour ones, it just wasn't long enough. But just as I got started, I had to stop again. Make sure that's exactly where it lived before. And then the front bit. Carry on spraying, yeah. Right, so this has horizontal lines because it's the front of the headlight, so it's got that texture in it. First one comes in there. But doesn't go right the way across. Kinda does that. With a little bit of white sticking up there like that. Yeah, a sports bike with a fairing, yeah, a lot easier to paint. Glad you like it so far, Dennis, mate. It's yeah, it's a good one, this. I was quite excited when you messaged me and said what you wanted on it. Those sports bikes are all well and good, but they are a bit boring. At least you got something to look at with these classic bikes. It's not all plastic panels. There's shiny bits and everything. And who doesn't like a shiny bit? Gotta love Trident. It flows so well when you over reduce it. It's cool, but it's got such a huge heavy pigment load that it doesn't take long to get a full coverage. It's brilliant. I mean, on those lines there that I just did, will it focus if I zoom right in? Well, focus. Focus. Give you some idea of how big those lines are. There's my airbrush needle right next to it. Didn't spit. Didn't do nothing. Good old Trident. Only trouble is, I'm not sure if anyone in the UK sells Trident now. Because that is all I have of the white. That's it. Just that tiny little bottle. And there's only about a third of it left. So I'm going to need to source some more fairly soon. Dan Power isn't associated with it anymore. I can't bug him for some more. The odds it's always pull a crowd. Yeah, I'm useless on two wheels. Although I've always hung out in the biker crowd and all that lot. Yeah, I'm always on my face when I'm on two wheels. I could ride a trike. I'd love a Harley trike. That'd be cool because it's got built-in stabilizers. But yeah, what time we got? 9:01. Right, I guess I better call it there, peeps. Yeah, not the most exciting stream because there's lots of tiny little details to get done on this, but yeah, it's coming together nicely. So all I'm going to do is just keep doing what you've seen me do. I'm just going to cut out each individual section, paint it white, then I'll take off all of the mask and then add the colour. So like on the tank, it's like a deep red with the gold stripe and that lot. So I'll use inks over the top, pretty much the same as I did with the background, just to add the colour. So I'll do the white first. The engine bits I'll just be doing with white because they're chrome, that kind of thing. So I'm going to continue with that. See how much I get done. I might still be doing this by the time next stream comes along. Maybe. I don't know. It'll be nice if I can get it done ASAP for Dennis. But we shall see. Rubber side down when biking, mate. Absolutely. So, if I switch back to that one there. Like that. You can see my beautiful face. So yeah, I'm going to continue with that. We might still be doing it next week. We shall see. Take care of yourselves. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for keeping me company and all that malarkey. Take care of yourselves, and I will. No rush. Cool beans, mate. I don't want to take too long with it, but I don't want to rush it. So yeah, take it easy. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, and hopefully I'll see you back here next Saturday. See you later, guys.
Give me your possessions and some